My sister told the police I was holding someone captive in my house. But when SWAT broke down the door, the officer in charge started apologizing. I was reading to my daughter when the megaphone blasted from outside. This is the police. We have the house surrounded. Release the hostage and come out with your hands up. Sophie looked at me confused, her book sliding off her lap. I walked to the window and saw 8 police vehicles, officers behind car doors with weapons drawn, and my sister Rachel standing beside a detective pointing at my house. My phone had been buzzing for 20 minutes with calls from an unknown number that I'd ignored because Sophie and I were having reading time. The megaphone came again. We know you're holding a young girl against her will. You have 3 minutes to comply before we breach. My hands shook as I dialed 911. The operator answered and I said, "This is David Granger at 842 Oak Street. There's SWAT outside my house, but this is a misunderstanding. The girl they're talking about is my daughter." The operator put me on hold. Sophie started crying and asked why police were pointing guns at our house. I held her close and tried to stay calm, but my heart was pounding. Through the window, I could see Rachel gesturing wildly, showing the detective something on her phone. She'd been trying to get custody of Sophie for 6 months, ever since my wife died, claimed I was unfit, unstable, that Sophie deserved a mother figure. Every court hearing had gone my way because there was nothing wrong with how I was raising my daughter. The operator came back. "Sir, officers are saying they have evidence of suspicious activity and a missing child report filed by your sister. I need you to open the front door slowly with your hands visible." I told Sophie to stay in her room and walked to the door. The second I opened it, 3 officers rushed in and pushed me against the wall. One of them zip-tied my wrists while another ran upstairs. I heard Sophie screaming, "Daddy!" and tried to break free, but they held me down. Commander Walsh, the SWAT team leader, entered last. He was reading something on a tablet, his expression grim. "Where's the girl?" he demanded. I told him she was upstairs in her bedroom where she'd been all evening. My sister's voice carried from outside. "He's lying. I haven't seen my niece in weeks. He won't let anyone near that house." Commander Walsh went upstairs and I heard Sophie crying harder. He came down 30 seconds later carrying her, and she was reaching for me desperately. He set her down and she ran to me even though I was restrained against the wall. Walsh pulled out his radio and said, "Stand down. The child is safe. I repeat, stand down." He turned to the officer who'd zip-tied me. "Get those off him now." As they cut the ties, Walsh crouched down to Sophie's level. "Sweetheart, is this your daddy?" Sophie nodded, still crying. "Does he hurt you or keep you locked up?" She shook her head violently. "I love my daddy. Why are you being mean to him?" Walsh's jaw tightened. He asked to see Sophie's room and I led him upstairs. Her walls were covered in her artwork, shelves full of books and toys, a photo collage of her and me at the park, at her school play, at her mom's grave on the anniversary. Walsh picked up her asthma medication from the nightstand and checked the date. Current prescription, properly administered. He looked at her school folder on her desk. Perfect attendance, glowing teacher comments. Rachel was at the door when we came back downstairs, the detective beside her. "He's manipulated her," Rachel insisted. "I'm telling you, something is wrong. He never leaves that house. He doesn't let her see family. I tried to visit last week and he wouldn't open the door." Commander Walsh's voice was ice cold. "Ma'am, when did you last actually see your niece?" Rachel faltered. "It's been a few weeks, but that's because he won't allow it." Walsh pulled out his tablet. "According to school records, Sophie Granger has been attending Riverside Elementary every day. She's in dance class every Wednesday and Friday. Her pediatrician saw her 8 days ago for a regular checkup. Her father takes her to grief counseling every Monday since her mother passed." He turned to me. "Mr. Granger, why wouldn't you let your sister visit last week?" I explained that Rachel had shown up drunk at 9 p.m. on a school night, demanding to take Sophie for the weekend without any custody agreement. I'd asked her to leave and she'd threatened to make me regret it. Walsh looked at Rachel with pure disgust. "You filed a false report claiming a child was being held captive because your brother wouldn't let you take his daughter?" The detective who'd come with her stepped forward. She showed us edited photos that made it look like the girl hadn't been outside in weeks. Text messages claiming he'd made threats. Walsh asked to see my phone. I showed him everything. Sophie's school photos from 3 days ago. Videos of us at the park last weekend. Text messages from Rachel threatening to destroy me if I didn't give her custody. Walsh arrested Rachel right there for filing a false police report and child endangerment for weaponizing SWAT.